Welcome back. Today we are talking with one of the co-authors of Business Continuity Management, Significant Insights from Practice, Kush Srivastava. Kush, great first segment there. Let's jump into another area of the book where you talk about BCM tools. What were you
Okay.
talking about there?
Okay. When I am talking in terms, this is a chapter which covers an important considerations for board and senior management before they decide in investing into any new technology or any tool for business continuity, crisis management. And this chapter also provides indicators for reality checks prior to organization in which is undertaking automation of functions, which covers crisis and business continuity of their critical operations. So it is an important important from stakeholders, both internal and external. Okay, it covers the details of what imperatives should be taken into account or what should be present in the organization before you start investing in any new technology or any tool. Okay. Uh, Especially for automating critical continuity of operations. So that is, I'm saying, your end objective is that you are automating something what is critical for the organization. Okay. And that is for that purpose, this chapter is elaborates the critical factors that that the board and the senior management, I use the word must consider before they approve the budget. Primarily because, you see, you should be, the organization should have reason and objective for automation. So you should know what is why you are doing the automation, why you are investing, what is the end goal. Secondly, the technical details of the automation or the new technology has to be known to the people who are going to be using it. The age of the tool, the market standing of the tool, or the number of users and the reference client list of any particular technology or any particular tool. Okay. Compatibility of this new technology with your existing IT systems and IT management systems is also an important factor that should be considered before you make the investment. Okay. One of the key things which I incorporate this point is organizations maturity and the people maturity within the company to be able to adopt the new technology. Okay, so that's another key thing, maturity of organization as people. The other important aspect is the ability of the organization personnel to understand the nuances of the new technology and the IT capability. Okay, and which will impact the cost of the tool, the aspect of the technology journey of the organization. So that's about. Now, let me see. I have been talking about in this chapter a lot about the aspect of technology. Now, today, technology is your biggest enabler. Okay. Now, in the related aspect on my chapter relating to how much of IT should the BCM manager know. You see, in this, I'm addressing in this chapter, I'm addressing a key issue and a common misnomer that businesses are users of technology and all aspects relating to IT and its infrastructures are the responsibility of organization's IT department. So there is a difference that, okay, as a user, I will just use SAP, I will just use Oracle, I will just use my Microsoft Office. But when it comes to glitches, IT should take over. IT is it. The reason I'm using this chapter is because the reality of today is technology being the key enabler. It is vital that users must understand the core basic drivers of technology. And when I say core basic drivers of technology, I'm talking also that when a BCM manager is planning for the company or for the organization or for the department, it will help him in giving a better solution based on the organization's IT capability, the technical prowess based on the knowledge of network connectivity, architecture, and awareness of different and understanding the difference between IT systems and OT systems. These are two. IT is information technology systems, and OT is operational technology. So there's a subtle difference, and it has an important element in the recovery and resilience. Okay, this chapter is also has delves into the technical jargons, what IT folks use in their normal course, and what is good for business users to be on the same, to be knowledgeable about the same, so that they are able to understand and they're on the same platform when it comes to business continuity strategy and business continuity solutioning. So that's your on the aspect of technology automation and relevance of technology for BCM manager.
I find myself, I'm not an IT person at all, but
Hmm.
I know enough that I can understand what's being said and when the wool's being pulled over my eyes. I don't know
Mhm.
the details of, IP addresses and where cables
Hmm.
get plugged in and how it all connects and things like that.
Hmm.
I just know that this service connects to that service via this service. And when I talk to IT or business has a concern, I'm able to bring the two together. And I
Mhm.
think that's a good BCM person can sit in the middle and understand that. I'm never going to understand the nuances of IT.
No,
I'm good.
I'll just add one point here.
Sure.
You see, while you say what you say is absolutely valid. But when you are a BCM person and when you are deciding on an RTO or a RPO or some the continuity strategy, it will help you that if you understand the nuances of IT connectivity and IT outage, what has gone wrong. When you know that a thing which has gone wrong will take 3 hours to fix or 3 days to fix. So then in that case, he or she is in a better position to advise the stakeholder, internal and external, to be able to give the right solution for business continuity from the aspect of planning, execution, implementation, and recovery.
Yep. Agreed. Yep. Completely agree with you.
Hmm.
So let's jump to another one. Uh, Another chapter you talk about, what should HR consider in hiring a BCM manager or person? What kind of things should they be looking for?
Okay, I will just cover this aspect in with some pointers. Okay,
Sure.
uh, when when a BCM person is being hired by HR or HR person, okay, I only request, I only want, and I only wish that the HR representative should have some understanding. So I say understanding by HR of regarding BCM domain, what it does, how it is done, knowledge of steps in the BCM lifecycle, the basic stuff of what a BCM manager, what he does. That means the idea about the critical aspect of operations being identified by the during the process. So those are aspects. Then correlation of the emergency response, crisis management, business continuity, IT, disaster recovery, and what should the organization personnel should do in terms of protecting the organization reputation and interest. So those are key aspects what the HR person should be able to understand. The other important is the for the puzzle of the hiring the right candidate who will fulfill the organization interest on organization requirement for business continuity crisis management. So that means there is a subtle you see, I cannot take a person with the experience from this thing, a person who has been selling and in say retail industry for an oil and gas person. So that aspect of the requirement of the business need should be there. And lastly, I also see that ability to discern experience versus right skills and experience in BCM, emergency response and crisis management, that will fulfill the requirement of business continuity crisis and for the meeting the crisis, being able to support the crisis and outage in time. So that means the person should be having the right skills and experience rather than, because you see post COVID, I have seen so many people have become business continuity experts with 2 days and 1 day, 3 days course in online course in business continuity crisis and everything. So that's the reason I want to be seeing that HR person should be able to discern the right candidate from the with the right skills. That's it.
I've been in a situation where I was being recruited for a contract position in business continuity, and you could tell the HR person had just done a quick search on Google or some other search engine just to find out what business continuity was. So when they were asking me questions, well, I'm answering them, but I'm also asking questions back. And she was going, that's beyond what I know. I'm going, oh, okay.
Mhm.
So you
No,
really don't,
you
and I'm
see, I'll
thinking
tell
you
you.
really don't know this role, do you?
Right. Okay.
So let's jump to another one. Um, well, this should be good. How and why should management be involved with tests and exercises?
Okay. You see, business continuity and crisis management initiatives and programs have a better chance of success when these are being driven from the top. Their top-down approach is far more than bottom-up approach. Okay. Down the line, people know that if there is non-compliance, if there is if there is a default in implementing these things, they know who's going to come after them. Okay, because if it is a top-down approach, the senior management, the board, everything, they are at least having a oversight or overview of what is the intended objective of reaching a certain level of crisis readiness, crisis preparedness, and organization resilience. Okay. We have seen the advantages of the senior management involvement in test and exercises. More so that at times, it gives a more holistic focus for all those who are involved in the program. It gives objectivity to the program with defined outcome, as I mentioned. It ensures buy-in from all stakeholders, internal, external, because they know who's behind the program for and what is at stake. Tests and exercises then are aligned to the overall organizational strategy, and they're aligned to the mission, vision, and values of the company. And that is how it is another management system which is having the key focus and directive from the board and the senior management for its success. And lastly, when senior management is involved, it also acts as a validation of the true response and recovery capability in terms of in any unfortunate incidents of crisis or emergency, rather than having a capability of being a paper tiger.
What kind of things do you think we should test and exercise?
Uh, First and foremost is the that if you are doing a test and exercise, you should be doing it as according to a plan. Okay, the plan should be a well-structured plan with the with the objective of with the measurable outcomes. It cannot be okay. It has to be quantifiable in terms of success or no success. Okay, it cannot be having just a qualitative that last time the people response was better. This is much better than last time. No, it has to be, it should meet the requirement of RTO, RPO. It should validate the internal and external dependencies, the strategic partners, and it should be able to, you see, every transactions has a transaction life cycle time. I should be able to meet the transaction life cycle time along with my RTO and RPO data. So that those are all key aspects, what you see. And the other important aspect is in a test, the test should clearly specify the role and responsibility of employees, critical employees, non-critical employees. What happens if critical employee is not there? Those are all aspects that should be covered. So you have to consider the 360-degree aspect of
Mm.
what it takes for organization to be resilient in a when it is faced with crisis and outage.
Should we test in silos, like test crisis management, test IT disaster recovery, test business continuity, or should we progress to something else? Because I know from right now, I've experienced it already. The cyber team tests
Mm.
all on its own and doesn't include anybody else. So how
You
should we
see,
go about that?
okay, the idea of testing and exercising is an idea which should, the complex simplicity and complexity should increase with time. Okay, simply when you are doing this thing a test within the department, you are developing the confidence within the department. But when you are, it should ultimately lead on to a state where at the end of the specific timeline, you should be able to function. You should be able to test the whole thing like a well-oiled machine. That means all parts, whether finance, HR, admin, operations, sales, everybody contributing in and technology, including the external providers, service providers, vendors, all contributing to the success of the crisis management business country plan in having met the RTO and a recovery time objectives or the plan objectives, so that there is at the end of the day, after a point of time, the maturity level of or an organization from department level to enterprise level, it should have changed and it should have moved up the curve. And that is what I said mentioned in terms of the BCM journey of 7 years, okay, normally. But with the technology today, that I'm sure the 7 years has been reduced. And I'm sure it may be about today, it may be about 3 to 5 years, or probably less, because of the ability of the technology, the chat GPT, the aspect of cloud solutioning, and all those things. So those are things which can which can help the organization reduce the journey time for its maturity in
Mhm.
BCM and crisis management.
So let's say we've had a test and we are using the, as you called it, the 360 degree view of testing. We've
Mm.
had one of those big tests and we find a lot of gaps. What That's not the end of the test. What should we be doing when we find that we're not meeting an RTO or that an objective wasn't met or the people we thought would be involved aren't available? What should happen after we have a test?
You see, when you are getting into the aspect of analyzing the test results, you need to get into the root cause aspect of why, what is the cycle time in the test. So that is exactly what I was talking about. Overall transaction life cycle time. Where is the delay? What is causing the delay? This is where I'm saying that, is this a skill issue or a will issue or a training issue or something else? Or is it something which has not been accounted for in my test plan. Okay, suddenly you have the dependency on a third party, or the SLA of the third party has been different than what we expected. So all those aspects, internal and external factors, will need to be analyzed. Okay, especially, and you see, normally this analysis has to be done. The test analysis has to be done by a team of people who are independent. You see, otherwise, if you and I are from the same domain, I'll be soft on you and find this. Alex is not the reason for the delay. Alex is not the reason for the RTO not being met. Those are aspects.
So we have 3 minutes left. Do you
Hmm.
have any final thoughts or ideas you'd like to share?
I just was wanting to cover one important aspect
Sure.
regarding the business continuity in hard times. There is a chapter. Okay. Now, this business continuity in hard times, this chapter is a path-breaking attempt to highlight the importance of business continuity in crisis management preparedness for any organization, whether it is performing in the green, or that means whether it is making profits or incurring losses. My point here is that I've given 20 plus indicators to do the root cause analysis of what organizations' underperformance reasons are. And I have given more than 15 plus suggestions of why implementing the basic minimum business continuity crisis management as to meet the basic requirement of the standard. You may not adhere to the standard, but at least have the semblance of these practices, which will ensure that the correct response during a crisis or an emergency, irrespective of whether the company is in the green or in the red. So that's an important point which I was trying to say, that the management of organization should see the investment in business continuity and crisis management rather than considering it as a cost and a liability for future, which may not get tested. That's it. So,
Well, on that note, we've come to the end of the show. Thank you so much, Kush, and congratulations once again on the book. If you can hold it up for our YouTube viewers so they can see the cover, Business Continuity Management, Significant Insights from Practice. Congratulations once again. I really appreciate you sharing your time and your expertise here today.
thank you so much, Alex. It's always a pleasure to speak to you, and more when we speak next and have some
Yes,
more interesting discussions.
and hopefully one day
Thank you
we'll
so much.
meet at a conference.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
Get to meet
Fantastic.
in
Thanks.
person instead of across an ocean.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Thank you
Well,
so much. Thank you so much,
my
Alex.
pleasure. And thank you everyone for watching and listening. In the meantime, stay prepared, everybody. If you liked that video, thumbs up. If you didn't like that video, thumbs down. But leave me a message and let me know your thoughts. Of course, don't forget to subscribe. And in the meantime, stay prepared, everybody.